Good evening. I'm Ms. Stevens, the school counselor at Facing History New Tech High School. Welcome to the Cleveland Metropolitan School District Facing History New Tech commencement ceremony for the class of 2022. Before we begin, please turn your cell phones off or on vibrate. Please stand to receive the class of 2022. Welcome. Welcome, Chief of Staff Karen Thompson, our superintendent, Aaron Frew, and fellow podium guests, principals, administration, families, friends, supporters of Facing History New Tech High School Commencement 2022. Please stand for the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner. You may be seated. I would like to welcome the principal of Facing History New Tech High School, Ms. Clemens, to offer greetings to our graduates and attendees.
I would like to thank everyone who joined us today to celebrate our students. It is an honor to celebrate them today. We know that they've been through a lot this school year. They've been through a lot last school year, and you'll hear that in their speeches today. So I would like to take this time to introduce our chief, Ms. Karen Thompson, and she has a few congratulatory remarks for you.
I bring greetings on behalf of CEO Eric Gordon. I want to say congratulations to the class of 2022, Facing History New Tech graduates. I would also be remiss if we didn't take a moment to thank your teachers, your principals, your counselors, your custodians, everybody at your school that has made it possible for you to be here. If we could take a moment and say thank you to your teachers and educators that have supported you. These past 2 years, over 18 months, have been quite an experience. And I don't think any of us would have gotten through without having somebody by our side. And I know for many of you, that's a mother, a father, a grandmother, a grandfather, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin. So let's take a moment and acknowledge who we have here in the crowd that it's been by your side. So with that, I just want to say thank you, and I'm happy to participate in today's graduation and be part of the celebration of our 2022 graduates of Facing History New Tech.
I want to take a moment and recognize some of our scholars for their achievements this year. So when I say your name, could you please stand? We have had 25 Say Yes scholars this year. That means that these students will go to the schools of their choice that they've been accepted to and not have to pay any tuition. Yay! All right, so the following students, please stand. That's amazing. Pedro Aponte. Shayla Caldwell. Giancarlo Javier Correa Morales. Luis Gomez. Justine Guerra. Tony Horn. Tyler Hart. Mitchell Jackowitz. Jamil Jones. Emily Rose Carpin. Eric Kenyage. Jean Omar Laureano. Francisco Manuel Linares. Sienna Malcolm. Jasmine Maldonado. Joelle Metro. Honesty Nelson. Destiny Nieves. Austin Paul. Paige Poole. Jose Ramirez. Madison Roark. Kimberly Rodriguez. Damon Sanchez Scott. Demone Sanchez Scott. Hannah Rose Sheridan and Caroline Torres. Also, amongst these scholars, they've amassed over $200,000 in scholarship dollars outside of the Say Yes scholarship. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take a moment and recognize our top 10 scholars because, yes, this has been a very difficult year, but these students have stayed the course and they should get some recognition for their hard work. So number 10, Madison Roark. Number 9, Arika Johnson. Number 8, Sienna Malcolm. Could you please stand? Thank you. Number 7, Emily Rose. Number 6, Justine Guerra. Number 5, Ariana Galarza. Number 4, Tony Horn. Number 3, Destiny Nieves. And our salutatorian who will be going to Oberlin College on a full ride, Kimberly Rodriguez. And our valedictorian, I just could go on and on about this young man. But he will be attending Cleveland State University, pursuing engineering on a full ride, Eric Kenyage. We will now have Kimberly Rodriguez come up for her class address. She is your salutatorian.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Kimberly Rodriguez, and I have the honor of being this year's salutatorian. There is a quote that says, "The bad news is time flies, the good news is you're the pilot," by Michael Altshuler. Most of us have been at this school since freshman year, and most of us weren't comfortable with talking with each other. We took for granted our social interactions and certainty of the future. Then sophomore year came around, and we came back from winter break to hear about this new virus called COVID-19. Our sophomore year got cut short, and which started our non-traditional high school experience. During the last couple of months of sophomore year, we had to learn to adjust to how everything was going to work in this new world. Getting used to only wearing masks, staying at home all the time, and only being able to go out during certain hours. I know that this caused a lot of students' mental health to decline and to start feeling isolated. For example, my experience was that I had to stay alone most of the time because my mom works every day to provide for us. Thank you, Mom. I have no siblings, so it was hard to interact with other people. It seems like we were all stuck in our own little bubbles, and there was nothing we could do about it since we were living through a global pandemic. There were so many adjustments, like going to class through Zoom or Google Meet and having to talk to our teachers through a screen and not being able to directly talk with our friends. We would be on the same call, but unable to have casual conversations like we did during class or just collaborating with each other on a project. We lost a whole year of those experiences. I know that the year we were online, it was hard for everyone. So many people were feeling lonely or unmotivated and just had a really hard time getting through the year. But then we made it to our senior year, and our first day of senior year came around, and we saw each other for the first time in a year and a half. Everyone started to value their time with each other and how important it is to talk face-to-face with people. This takes me to the point of doing things that make you happy. Make sure that whatever you do in life brings you happiness. These last 4 years have shown us that what's really important. It's not the clothes you wear or the status on your status on social media. What matters is the relationships, the social interaction, and being happy. There has been so many stressful moments in the past 4 years, but we worked really hard to get to our senior year. These experiences have made us strong and resilient, so I would say, going forward, be bold and take chances because our past have shown us that we have the grit to make it. Thank you. And now I am proud to introduce our valedictorian, Eric Kenyage.
Thanks for that wonderful speech and introduction from our Star Teacher, Kimberly Rodriguez. Greetings to parents, guardians, loved ones, teachers, grandpas, grandmas, and everyone who took their time to gather around. My name is Eric Kenyage, and I'm honored to be this year's valedictorian representing the graduating class of 2022 of Facing History New Tech. Can we please make some noise for the class of 2022? I want to thank all my teachers for helping me and encouraging me. I want to thank all my peers for showing love and support for the last 3 years. Thanks to my parents for showing me the path to education because I had no future in education. But they saw something in me, and now I am graduating with my fellow students and friends. I know everyone is expecting this to be a sad or fun speech, but it is none of that. It's my story. When I was 8 years old, I didn't know how to read. I was attending school in my country, and all I cared about was playing around with my friends and sometimes skipping school. School was my enemy. Consequently, at 10 years old, my parents decided to take me back, and they moved me to a private school. They wanted a better future for me, and they wanted to see me making it in school. Going to a private school was an opportunity to impress my parents and show commitment. I had to live on my friends, and it was a tough moment for me, and it was a tough time for me. When I moved to the new school, the students there were more focused and took their education too seriously. I began to want to do better, and I decided that I would become successful at school also. I encouraged myself to study hard so that I could be noticed by the teachers and how smart and committed I'd become. Reading was one of the barriers I faced, but I did not want that to take me down, I started reading books and went to tutoring. I was there after school. The teacher made us read on the board like every day in class to help me with my reading and everything. I said that routine helped me a lot to the point I showed commitment, I showed improvement. I said helping my classmates to lead and the teachers liked my effort. It made me the class monitor because they knew I was a perfect leader. I went on to become the best in my class, and I strived ever since to do my best in my studies. Today, I'm honored and proud to say that I'm now the valedictorian of my graduating class, and I hope that I can be an inspiration to you all. I want to congratulate everyone for staying strong for the past 4 years, although I did not get a chance to interact with most of you. You know yourselves, I know that you guys were the perfect people for me. For the last 4 years, we had the ups and downs like the COVID-19, learning our sophomore year, junior and senior year, the fun times that we had marrying our senior year, the obstacles that we faced, and much more. Despite all that, we showed passion, dedication towards our education. Nelson Mandela once said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." I believe we can make a difference by using the weapon that has been given to us. Let us all use the weapon with dedication. Let us all take advantage of the weapon to change the world. Thank you. And now, I'd like to welcome my beloved friend Maddie to introduce our guest speaker. Thank you.
Hi, I'll be introducing Lisa Lefstein-Baruch. She is the program director of the Cleveland Office of Facing History and Ourselves. She works with public, independent, and parochial schools in Northeast Ohio in curriculum design and instructional coaching around teaching the humanities and creating inclusive and equitable school culture. Through her work with Facing History, she connects lessons of history and literature to issues in our democracy. Today, motivating students to recognize their voice and civic agency, Lisa has taught English literature and composition to high school students at Lakewood High School and Cleveland Heights High School. She holds a BA in English literature from University of North Carolina, a master's education from John Carroll University, and a post-bachelorette license in secondary social studies from Cleveland State University.
Thank you, Madison. Whew. Well, Eric and Kimberly are hard to follow, but I'll try. So, congratulations, first of all, Facing History New Tech class of 2022. I hope you'll give yourselves another round of applause because you deserve it. So I'm Lisa. I've worked in the Cleveland office of Facing History and Ourselves for almost 11 years. And 10 years ago, Facing History and Ourselves helped to found the school, Facing History New Tech. And when we did that, we wanted to create a school based on our motto. So our motto is, people make choices, choices make history. People make choices, choices make history is a simple idea, that our choices matter. At Facing History, we know that our democracy really requires people who believe that their choices matter. Big choices, like voting and settling conflicts peacefully, and more everyday choices, like treating our classmates or neighbors with empathy and compassion. These choices matter too. And I know that in your 4 years at Facing History New Tech, whether in school or online, you've talked a lot about choices. You've looked at the choices people have made to be upstanders, not bystanders. You've studied choice making. It's really boring. You've studied choice making in the books and stories you've read, in the history of the Holocaust, the Civil Rights Movement, in our government, and even in science and math. You learned about the choices of famous people and the choices of unsung upstanders who don't make it into history books, but whose choices have shaped our world all the same. You made choices and you studied choices in your senior capstone projects, where you looked at choices that we've made and better choices that we could make around really critical issues like mental health, violence, drug abuse, families, poverty, racism, immigration, and the environment, and more. From studying past choices, you've learned that being an upstander can be complicated, Standing up can be risky or even dangerous. From learning about choices, you know that sometimes it's hard to know what choice to make, or that sometimes people are faced with a range of choices, all of them really difficult. And you know that all these choices matter, not just from learning in school, but because of the hard decisions you've been faced with during your 4 years at school. 4 years like no other students have ever had, and the last 2 years in particular. You made tough choices that got you to this very moment tonight where you're graduating. Each of you made the choice to stick with learning when the school buildings were closed and learning online was challenging. Each of you chose to continue working hard at school when people all around you were getting COVID, or when you were needed to take care of younger siblings or older family members. Each of you chose to persevere when the school building was hot and you had to wear a mask all day. And you have each chosen to be there for one another. I can see that and I can hear that in the way that you are supporting each other tonight. You have maintained a caring and thoughtful school community even during a pandemic. And you have learned about choices from your families and your teachers who are here tonight. Your parents, grandparents, family members, and friends made the choices necessary to encourage you, to nurture you, to get you to school on time, to support you in your learning. Your teachers have chosen every day for the last 4 years to provide you with the very best education possible, even when their classrooms were closed. So the question now, for you incredible Facing History New Tech graduates of the class of 2022, what choices will you make next? I mean, enjoy this evening, have a good time, and come back to this question tomorrow. But now what? What choices will you make as you leave Facing History New Tech and go out into the world? As you consider this question of your future choices, I have to share some information that I'm sure you're already aware of. The world that you are graduating into is in a bit of a mess. As adults, we have made some good choices, and your families and your teachers have worked hard to make this world a better place for you and to leave it a little better than they found it. But wow, there is a lot to fix. People in our community still live with poverty. We have gun violence in our communities and our schools. There are still racist and anti-LGBTQ practices and attitudes in our country, and now there are laws that say we can't teach about it. Drug addiction is still a problem for many. You get the picture. It's kind of a mess. So yes, we have left a considerable mess for all of you to clean up, and while we know that all of your learning about choices has prepared you for this broken world, thinking about all that there is to do can be overwhelming. So here is what I want to leave you with as you think about your choices going forward. It is a saying from the Mishnah, a Jewish text about ethical principles. Here is what Rabbi Tarfon says. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, velo ata ben chorin lahivatel mimena. Okay, we're good? So I'll translate. So let me translate from the Hebrew. Loosely translated, this is what that Hebrew sentence means. You are not obligated or required to complete the work of fixing the world, but neither are you free to neglect it. You are not obligated or required to complete the work of fixing the world, but neither are you free to neglect it. What does Rabbi Tarfon mean by this? I think what he is saying is that no one person can do it all, but you've got to make the choice to do something, to choose to be an upstander in some way, to choose to support other people in your community, to choose to stand on the side of justice, to choose not to be an upstander. And all of us here tonight, your teachers and your families, we know that each of you is up to the task ahead. You have made many excellent choices to get yourself to this graduation day. As you go forward, as graduates of Facing History New Tech, class of 2022, know that each of you does not have to single-handedly fix the whole world. Find that thing you care about. As Kimberly said, find that thing that makes you happy, no matter how big or small, and make choices every day to do your part to leave this world just a little better than you found it. No pressure, but the world needs you, and your choices matter. Thank you.
On behalf of, I'm sorry, Lisa, could you come back up, please? You're not telling us you didn't do nothing wrong. On behalf of Facing History New Tech graduating class of 2022, we would like to present you with a token of appreciation for sharing your time with us today. I would like to ask Principal Clemens and Chief of Staff Karen Thompson to the podium for the certification and acceptance of the Facing History New Tech graduating class.
I would like to ask our students who are on stage to go to their seats, please. Go down that way. I would also like to recognize the educators that are on stage. Ms. Frew, our network leader. Can you please stand? Ms. Thompson, you already met Ms. Chief Thompson. Ms. Stevens, our school counselor and senior advisor. Ms. Blue, our school secretary and co-senior advisor. Ms. Millett, our building administrator who stepped in to lead our school in my leave of absence. And Ms. Tribble avoided the stage, but she's in the audience. Can you please stand? Our action team coach, Ms. Tribble. I need everyone on the stage to remain standing. Okay.
Principal Clemens, School Counselor Donna Stevens, and faculty, do you attest to the fact that these students have satisfactorily completed the requisite course of study prescribed by the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, the Board of Education, the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, and the Ohio Department of Education?
I certify that all the students on this stage today have met all of the educational requirements of the state of Ohio and the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. They have passed all of their required courses and state tests. These students are now ready to receive their diplomas.
Then, on behalf of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District Board of Education, I have the high honor to bestow upon you, members of the Facing History New Tech 2022 graduating class, your high school diplomas, along with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto.
At this time, we ask that all graduating seniors please stand. All right, I'm just trying to get everybody quiet. All right, we're gonna start to call the names. You guys excited? All right, so I'm gonna let you guys applaud one last time while the students are standing, and I'm gonna ask. Woo! Now I'm gonna ask that we please try not to drown out the other students' names as I begin the roll call, okay? Great. First row. Jonas Adams. Pedro Ramon Aponte. Shayla Marie Caldwell. Giancarlo Javier Correa Morales. David Irizarry Correa. Ariana Jalise Galarza. Luis Gomez. Justine Marie Guerrera. Tony Horn. Thank you. Tyler Hart. Mitchell Jackowitz. Okay. Erika Johnson. Jamil Jones. Emily Rose Carpin. Eric Kenyage. Jean Omar Lariano. Francisco Manuel Linares. Jeremy Jomar Lopez. Sienna Hannah Sage Malcolm. Jasmine Maldonado. Joel Edward Metro. Honesty Nelson. Destiny Marie Nieves. Austin Kane Hall. Paige Poole. Jose Luis Ramirez. Madison Catherine Roar. Kimberly Rodriguez. Damon Sanchez Scott. Damon Sanchez Scott Jr. Caroline Namar Torres. Yolanda Figueroa. Oh, I'm so sorry, Hannah. Hannah Sheridan. I'm sorry. She's like, I'm here. I'm so sorry, Hannah. I didn't see you come in. All right, who's the next person? I think it's you. Aren't you the next one, Ms. Thompson? Okay. Is you next? No. It's Ms. Thompson.
On behalf of the Board of Education of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, Mayor Justin Bibb, and Chief Executive Officer Eric S. Gordon, and Eric S. Gordon, I wish to congratulate the young men and women of Facing History New Tech, class of 2022, their parents and families. Congratulations.
Okay, Jean. Can I have Jean Loriano come up? At this time, we ask that all graduating seniors please stand.
The tassel is worn on the right side of the mortarboard as a symbol of change.
I hereby declare the Facing History New Class of 2022 to be graduates of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District.
You may now move your tassel to the left side of your mortarboard as a sign that you are an alumni of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District.
You can go back to your signature. Okay. I'm just gonna hold it, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we share in this celebration of your children's achievement. At this time, please clear the aisles to allow the graduates to recess. Graduates, remain standing and follow the podium guests out of the auditorium. We thank you, congratulations, all of you, and good night.